Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Realms, another Tales from the Longbox. Today I'm going to take a look at the first DC, and I'm not sure how that happened. Like I said, this Longbox has a lot more Marvel than DC, so that's part of the problem. I would say it's like 4/5 Marvel and 1/5 DC, so that is part of it, but this is, I thought it was very funny that this was the book that came out. I'm doing this one a little differently because I didn't realize something when I picked this one. If you saw my video on how I picked these, you know what I'm talking about. I kind of do it at random, but this one is a book. I looked in this, I said, this looks kind of familiar. And I opened it to here, and I realized this is the comic, and this is, if you know that address, and this is the comic that caused me to drop this series completely. First off, that art. That looks like the old school Gomez Adam art. I mean, seriously, look at that. That just, and there was some experimentation going on with art at this time. So anyway, I tried to read through this and I remembered what it is. It was just this whole storyline. It was boring. I mean, it was just boring as hell. It was like Eclipso through the ages or something. I never really understood the point, and it just seemed like it was telling stories to tell stories, and there was no point to the stories. I remember it then. And this book, I remember picking it up and just saying, nope, I'm not picking this up. And this caused a big, I dropped a whole lot of books after this. I really did. I was reading a lot, and the gist of it is, I mean, simply it looks like Eclipso hops from Watson. Yes, this was Holmes and Watson. Hops from Watson into somebody else and then disappears. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty boring. Honestly, it sounds like it should be exciting, but it's actually pretty boring. So I'm not going to really go through this like I do other books, because I did read it, and then it got to this point where I was so bored I just started skimming through it because I just wanted to get done with it, and it was terrible. It was horrible. It was pretty bad. I really hated this book at the time it was out. I remember reading I can't tell you any details of the original series. I know this came after Eclipso, The Darkness Within kind of storyline. Well, that was loud. Okay, I'm going to keep that in, by the way. That was my computer telling me something, but I don't know why it was so damn loud. But this was, and I just heard my daughter in the other room. I don't know if the camera picked that up. But anyway, this is, it's a weird one. I just don't know what to make of it. It was a weird series. It was like they had no idea what they were doing, so they would just start telling a story and it would not connect to the next story. It was very disjointed and discombobulated, and I remember not liking the series, and I got up, I think, to issue 5, and somehow I think the comic shop I was at underordered everything, underordered 6 and 7, and 8 finally came in. I was just like, just forget this. Just forget this. This is stupid anyway. It's a stupid series. I don't like it. It's bad. Let me just see if I can see what year this is from. I believe it's 90s. Somewhere in the 90s. Let me see. Oh yeah, June. It's right there on the cover. June of 93. So, it's usually about 3 months ahead. So that would have been about March. Yeah, 93 was about right. Yeah, that's when I really started cutting my books back, and just would only get stuff that I thought was worth a crap. Valiants. Remember those? Those were actually worth a crap in 93. Okay, so, yeah, this was pretty terrible, and I really think this hurt. I really want to say this hurt DC for a while there, too. I know I kept up with some, like Superman, Batman, and Flash at that time, and Green Lantern. Those I kept up with. Is that after Green Arrow died, or I can't remember. Okay, so Eclipso, I mean, it's just a bad series. I'd give it 1 star, 1 out of 10. Really, it just, I was kind of hoping when I picked that up it was going to be like later on, maybe later on in the series it got better. And then I realized once I started flipping through it, I'm like, nope, I remember this very well. Yeah. And this is terrible. This is bad. So that'll wrap up this Tales of the Longbox. I know it's a little bit, I didn't really go into depth or anything I like, because I really don't like anything. I mean, again, this is, you know, in this day and age, in that day and age, you know, when Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld are at their zenith, we get that. I mean, gee, how did this fail, you know? I mean, that's a little better, but come on. I mean, that right there is inexcusable. That's just terrible. Alright, that'll wrap it up now for Infinite Realms, Tales from the Longbox, Eclipso number 8. Don't forget to like and subscribe.